Hello and welcome to UK Health Radio, your global feel-good radio. I'm Dora Walsh, and I've been working in the field of natural and functional medicine for over 15 years. I support my clients to release their stubborn weight and also other health concerns like digestive problems, autoimmunity, low immunity, skin concerns, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and more, even long COVID. I'm a qualified nutritionist and nutritional therapist. And you can find out more about me on the internet and also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Well, this week, we're going to be talking about how to implement the 5 crucial pillars of health into your life. Now, everybody benefits from having strong pillars of health to work together to keep them really stable, healthy, and to keep their mind and body in the best condition that they'll ever be in. But it's not always so easy to get started. And some people wonder how to begin, especially if they've never had a health and fitness program or they just start on their journey to health. Well, this week, we're going to be talking to someone who successfully implemented those 5 pillars of health into his life. Nick Steiert is the co-founder of Wellnergy and also the Wellnergy Festival. And you can find out more about that festival on the website wellnergy.co.uk. And it's happening on the 17th of June, 2023. He's an entrepreneur and he's also founded many different things. So he was the founder of Invasion Events, which then became Invasion Travel, co-founder of AmeriCamp, co-founder of Camp Thailand, co-founder of Camp Bali, and also, as I mentioned, co-founder of Wellnergy, which is an amazing festival that's happening on the 17th of June in London later this year. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Hi, Dora. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the show. I heard about your festival and how you'd launched this and you're bringing a lot of kind of wellness experts together. But before we go on to talk about the 5 pillars of health and how you're going to be covering that in your amazing London festival, tell us about how you got into health and wellness and how you follow the 5 pillars of health and what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dora, first of all, you said I successfully implemented them at the start of your show, and I only got there through a lot of trial and error, and it didn't happen overnight. And it's just, I guess, pushing myself, getting outside of my comfort zone, just trying new things, throwing myself out there. And I guess as well, that's probably what led me to being so passionate about Wellnergy and really focusing on wellness and trying to make people feel better is through that journey that I've been on. Yeah. And just to answer your question in terms of what the 5 pillars are, and this is something that Wellnergy is very passionate about. We have the pillars of mindfulness, of fitness, of music, of food, and of laughter. And the idea is that each one on their own promotes wellness and well-being, but you combine the 5 into one, and that's what Wellnergy is.
I love it. So these are all things that we can all do, but obviously some people find it hard to start implementing these healthy pillars into their life, especially if they're living a busy life, busy with their job. Maybe they don't.
Exactly that. 100%. Because you're too busy to focus on something else. You're just focusing on work. You want to just keep moving forward and getting ahead and pushing yourself. And then you get to a point of diminishing returns where that pushing forward is actually counterproductive. And that's when your body and your mind are saying, look, stop, take a break. And sometimes you've got to take 2 steps back in order to move 5 steps forward. And I've suffered from burnout in the past where I just push myself and push myself and push myself because, you need to have a lot of discipline. And as they say, you can't cheat the grind. It knows how much you invested and it won't give you anything you've not worked for. And from that, you've got to work hard in order to achieve your goals. But equally, switching off is also very important and looking after yourself and learning to relax and just take a breath as well.
I love it. Now, let's go through those pillars. You've got 5 pillars. You've got mindfulness, fitness, food, music, and laughter. Which is your favorite and most important one?
I personally love the pillar of laughter. When you're laughing, they say it's when the soul is speaking. And it just, that feeling of energy and seeing people, it's just infectious. And people say I have a crazy laugh, and it just, when they hear my laugh, it makes other people laugh just because it's quite unique, which is not intentional at all. But yeah, for me, I like to make people laugh genuinely. It's probably I know people shouldn't have favorites, but it's the one I try and promote the most because if people are enjoying themselves, then yeah, you can't beat that feeling. And laughter is definitely a great representative of that.
Nick, did you hear about how laughter and happiness is so good for the immune system?
No,
Definitely, definitely. You know,
I did not hear. I can imagine, but I did not hear it signed from any science.
yeah, it's definitely because, you know, like when people get down, they get ill.
Oh, yeah. It just lifts your mood. That's it, exactly. So yeah, I focus more on the emotional aspect of it, and it just, yeah, when you're laughing, people are happy, and it just makes people feel better. And yeah, and when you feel happy, you can achieve more as well.
Yeah, your immune system's definitely better when you're happy, and there's been some research into that. So that's one to start. My favorite one is food, because you know I'm a nutritionist, so I love that.
Imagine, yeah,
as well.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, do you have a favorite type of food?
I know there's a lot of veganism out these days, but I do good healthy protein. I think it's very important for the immune system, and I do think having good healthy protein, if possible. Even if you don't like eating chicken or beef, maybe you can have some eggs. I love it. What about you? Why do you think food is a pillar for health?
Well, I think it's important that we eat healthily. And for example, people that eat junk food, it's not gonna look, it might make you feel good in the moment, but equally it doesn't, your body's not going to appreciate it. And it's good to have a vice every here and now and again. But yeah, equally it's very important for me. I'm half Greek and I love a Greek salad, and people say I'm a bit of a salad king because I'm just very creative in terms of making very different salad dishes. And yeah, when you're eating salads, for me, I just feel more wholesome. I feel healthier. I feel like as well, like when I'm digesting it, my body's like, it feels like it's eating goodness. And yeah, it internally makes me very happy.
Did you grow up with this healthy diet, or was it half English stodge and half Greek healthy stuff?
Well, my mom was very strict and we weren't allowed Cokes in the house. So we were from a young age encouraged to eat healthily. Okay, I'd say it was more like 20% English dodge, 80% goodness.
Good combo. This is a really good combo because,
80-20, yeah.
Yeah, 80-20.
Yeah, I agree. Pareto's law.
Yeah, definitely. I've read that book too.
Yeah.
So basically, the Greek diet has been found to be the healthiest in the world. And it's olives, it's olive oil.
Olive oil, 100%. Yeah. And also I think the Greek life expectancy is very high. And it must all be connected. The olive oil, the healthy diets, the weather. Absolutely.
It's the Mediterranean diet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mediterranean, it's fish, it's lean meat, it's the olive oil, it's the fresh vegetables. And then, but, alongside that in the Mediterranean, people are very sociable and they have a good social cohesion and I guess they laugh a lot and they have fun. Yeah. Life isn't as fast paced as it is in London. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's it. Ironically, companies you mentioned, apart from Wellnergy, the ones that I grew up were based in Manchester. And I was with a friend from the Netherlands yesterday, and I was saying to them that London is very much like New York. Time is money. People are rushed. They're very busy. If you go up to Manchester, it's a bit more relaxed. It's a bit more of a lifestyle up there. It's a bit more creative. And yeah, London is definitely a city that just breeds hustle and bustle.
It is. It's good.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's good. There's a good energy that comes with it. But equally, it's also very important to switch off from that as well.
Definitely. It sounds like you're based in Manchester. Is that right?
I was previously. Now, because of the festival, it's probably 90% London, 10% Manchester.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
So about the food. We talked about your lovely Greek diet. Give us a rundown of your daily diet that you think is a good pillar for your health.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way I try and start the day is with a strong, healthy breakfast. So I'll usually have a banana smoothie with a scoop of protein powder and also a piece of bread with cream cheese and also a glass of pineapple juice. So that's how usually I start. And then I might have a protein bar as a snack at around 11 o'clock. And then with lunch, I try and avoid heavy lunches because, being very much the driving force behind Wellnergy, I really dislike being in a state of food coma.
I know.
Yeah. So it's something I try and like manage to avoid being in. So usually I'll have something like a salad for lunch, and then I'll have a big dinner in the evening. But I was told a theory a few years ago that I've not followed, that your breakfast should be the biggest meal you have of the day.
Yeah.
Lunch should be big but slightly smaller, and then dinner should be your lightest. So you must start with the most, and then you kind of reduce it as the day continues. Mine's probably the opposite. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, different things work for different people, but I find that that's what works for me.
Good. And it sounds, obviously, you've got the good raw materials in there. That's the main thing. Now, you can, in all different types of formats, like not eating until lunch or having a biggest meal at the beginning of the day or at the end. Yeah. Ultimately, you've got the right format in there. You've got the good proteins. You've got the fruits. You're going to have the vegetables, the good fats.
Yeah.
Just work it how, in terms of what suits you. But as long as the good stuff is in there, it's going to be doing
100%. Yeah. So I always try and have the 5 a day, and just make sure I hit that requirement. Yeah. Because I think that's also very important. And
it's 9 a day now, Nick.
Oh, really? 9 a day? Okay. Challenge accepted. Here we go. I'll change my diet now. It's going to be 9.
Banana smoothie has to become banana, strawberry, and blueberry smoothie. That's
and a pineapple juice with orange juice mixed into one.
You can't have too many fruits, because you have to have mostly vegetables, not too many fruits.
Very true. Yeah.
Quite scientific, Nick, but I'm sure you work it out, and you've got the basis there. I think it's inspiring that you're following this, even as an entrepreneur, because with entrepreneurs, it is hard, actually. It's very all-encompassing, that world. So to maintain a healthy diet and these 5 pillars of health is a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I appreciate the kind words, Dora. And I guess, for me, running a wellness brand as well. Yeah, it's important. I try and live that lifestyle and represent it. And probably where I'm not representing it as well as I should be is I'm not switching off enough, probably because the event is 3 weeks away on Saturday now. So it's very, very close. And as we get closer, it's, a day closer to the event happening, and so much to plan, so much to organize. But equally, I love the buzz of being in the zone and making great things happen.
It's wonderful. Now, we're going to be back to talk a lot more about the Wellnergy event, which is on the 17th of June in London this year. And you can find out more about it on the website wellnergy.co.uk after a few messages from our commercial partners.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
So you're listening to Dora Walsh on UK Health Radio. On my weekly show, Nutrition for Health, Perfect Weight and Wellbeing, we're talking with Nick Steiert from the Wellnergy Festival. And you can find out more about that on wellnergy.co.uk. It's happening on the 17th of June, 2023 in London. And today we're talking about the 5 pillars of health. Now, we've talked about laughter. Now, this is so important for our health. We know it boosts the immune system. And we talked about food. Obviously, that's one of the major building blocks for our health. And we need to make sure we incorporate all the healthiest ingredients in our meals throughout the day, so that our immunity and our health is fired up. Now, Nick, there are a few other pillars that you think are really important, and I know you've incorporated them into your festival. Tell me about it. Which one should we talk about? Fitness or mindfulness?
We also got music.
Oh, music. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So music is, for me, and also an amazing energy. And I find when I'm plugged in and working away, I like to have music playing in the background. And it just helps me focus a lot better. I find sometimes when there's not music, I don't know, the thoughts aren't as fluid and I'm not quite in the zone. Whereas when the music flows, I just feel more connected. And there's an amazing company that we've partnered up with for Wellnergy called the Gardens of Babylon. I was introduced to their music style during lockdown, and I was like, wow, this music is it's kind of like a tribal house, energetic, very warm, very loving style energy. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. And so when it came for us shaping the festival, in my head, I was like, we need, what about, we want to represent the music pillar well. And I thought, why not reach out to those guys and see if there's a potential collaboration to be done? And I did. So my background is I studied law at Leeds University. And then within a month of graduating, I set up an events company. So the founder of the Gardens of Babylon also turns out she studied law at university, but set up an events company. So from the first meeting is very much, wow, we've been on a similar journey together and both very passionate about events. And yeah, it was very straightforward to hash out, and that they've come on board as a partner, and they've given a lot of input in terms of how the festival is going to run. And yeah, their music style is unbelievable. So for me, music is a great energy. It helps. Again, it doesn't work for everybody. Some people do like silence and for working away, but for me, it's equally as well. We're going to finish Wellnergy with some high tempo music. So we want people to leave feeling very energized and wow, what a great day I've had.
Fantastic. So are you going to have like a music throughout, or is it a music tent that people just go into the tent for the music? How does it work?
So we're going to have a music stage. Yeah. So basically the music's going to start at 3 p.m. and it's going to finish at 9 p.m. So the day actually starts at 9 a.m. and it runs. Yeah. It starts at 9 and it finishes at 9. So from 9 until 3, it's going to be more focus on the other sides of wellness. So different yoga classes, different fitness classes, and different motivational speakers, different talks. And yeah, and then at 3 is when the music's going to start. And yeah, we've got a different stage area dedicated to that.
Fantastic. And it sounds like you're incorporating these 5 pillars of health into the festival in all different ways. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So let's talk. So the music starting later, but the event's starting in the morning. It's going on throughout the day. Let's talk about the other pillars of health and how you've incorporated those into your festival and find out a bit more about your festival. So what about fitness and mindfulness?
Yeah, so we're going to have different fitness classes as well. So we've got a lot of different fitness instructors. We've got an actual tent dedicated to fitness. So that'll be happening during the day. And then we've also got 2 mindfulness tents as well. So there'll be a lot of different activities, different schedules and different instructors. And yeah, the classes are going to run from 9 a.m. and they're going to finish at around 5 p.m. So people can dip in and out, do different classes and really focus on unplugging, switching off and focusing on themselves as well.
What's your favorite type of fitness?
Back in the day, I used to go to the gym. I used to do a lot of running. Unfortunately, I developed really bad sciatica. In September, I ended up having back surgery to correct it. And one of the consequences of that was told I can't go to the gym for about 6 months. I can't lift any weights. I can't go any running. I've just got to walk everywhere. And that was very tough to try and follow. Yeah, basically the requirements from the doctor. But yeah, ultimately made it happen. And yeah, so for me, it used to be running back in the day.
Running, but now I guess you can do walking. That's a form of fitness.
Yeah, exactly. I walk a lot. So I try and do about 14,000 steps a day on average. So yeah, for me, going on walks is also very important.
How many miles would that be? 1,400?
14,000.
14,000. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Oh, how much is that there?
Good question. 14,000 steps into miles. Yeah. So 10,000 steps is 4.5 miles. So
wow.
14,000 steps must be around 6 miles every day.
Every day?
Every day. Yeah.
Walking to Manchester to London or something.
Just walking anywhere, walking aimlessly around with purpose.
I thought you were an entrepreneur. You meant to be at your desk, right?
Absolutely not. So what I try and do is I try and arrange phone calls that I can talk and walk.
Great.
Yeah, because if you're just sat behind a computer, again, that point of diminishing returns, you're going to hit that and you're not going to be productive. Whereas if you can plan your day where you can go out and about, take a phone call, you're still working on the business, but it's a different kind of work and you've kind of adapted to a different situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can do sitting at your computer. This is a form of health as well, knowing what works for you in terms of your working and having the most out of your working in a healthy way. And obviously you're combining the fitness and getting stuff done at the same time. I call that piggybacking.
Yeah. Or killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's amazing. You're covering 14,000 steps a day. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Sometimes more. I've done 20,000 before. Yeah. Plan my day to incorporate phone calls and being out and about. And again, we're on a Zoom call now. The way post-COVID, it's a lot more, online meetings, phone calls. So why can't we adapt to that and try and walk more? And it'll make us more healthy in the long run for it.
I guess this also links back to that other pillar that you said is one of your 5 pillars, is the pillar of mindfulness, because walking, we can get into that kind of mindful state, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's important and just disconnecting and just, sometimes I'll just take a moment, 5 minutes, just kind of disconnect all thoughts and just try and create a blackout space in my mind just to try and find inner peace. And because sometimes again, it can get quite overwhelming. As a society, we have so many different touch points that can reach the brain, whether it's WhatsApp, social media, and within social media, there's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, emails, text messages. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. It's a lot of overstimulation.
Yeah. And it can get overwhelming. And especially the more productive you are, the more that's going to bounce back. And, if you send a ton of emails out, you're then going to get a ton of replies. And it can be tough trying to find that balance.
It's hard. Have you read that book, The 4-Hour Working Week?
I have read it. I don't know. I feel like, it worked for him, but I don't live that lifestyle.
He just tried to do one email a day or something or less.
Yeah.
Tried to get it all in one, and he leaves things so that there's not all that kind of going back and forth, because it wasn't good for his health. It was taking over his health and his mind.
Yeah.
I found that inspirational. I'm kind of taking a lot of that, because I think a lot of organization, it links back to health, actually. The way you structure your day, we talked about that, your mindfulness, it all links back to your health. So they're all little habits that we can implement, but I guess everyone does it in a different way, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we talked about the 5 pillars. We talked about the laughter, the music, the food, the fitness, and mindfulness. How do these 5 pillars link into your festival, the Wellnergy Festival, later this year on the 17th of June in London?
Yeah, so the day is going to have a variety of different areas. So we're going to have, as I mentioned earlier, 2 mindfulness tents, a fitness tent. On top of that, we're going to have a nutrition tent. We're also going to have, and this is something that we're very proud about, so we're the first festival in the UK, possibly worldwide, to be neurodiverse inclusive. So we're going to have a neurodiverse zone where people with neurodiversity can go and unplug and regulate. And we actually just launched that initiative earlier this week. And some of the messages I've received from people has made me really numb and giving me goosebumps, just seeing what a huge difference it's made to people. Yeah, because people, again, for example, one of the parents who I sent it to, whose child has autism, she was reading all the different initiatives that we're doing. And she was like, wow, this is amazing. Seeing this has made me really emotional, because it's never been a thought. It's always been an afterthought. And the fact you guys are being inclusive, it just shows that you've got a lot being planned. And it just seems amazing. And she was like, so thankful for that. So so we're going to have that zone, and then we're going to have the music stage, and we're also going to have the wellness stage as well. And so, on top of that, also, we're going to have a lot of different fit pros and their own areas, and also an exhibition area as well. So we've got a lot of different exhibitors connected to the wellness industry that want to come and exhibit their brands. So in that sense, we're almost like a bit of a wellness expo as well.
Sounds wonderful. And how did you find all these exhibitors? And what gave you the idea to set this up just like that?
Yeah, well, I just thought, how can we make this a day for everybody connected to the wellness industry? And and we've just, we put something on the website. So for inbound inquiries, and then, and people just reached out to us. Equally, we thought, who could we reach out to that is connected to the wellness industry and a brand within the 5 pillars, and try and speak to them. And and I guess it's just, some of it's come through inbounds, others have come through outbound. So it's been great seeing the response on that side as well.
And what kind of people are attending the event? Because you mentioned that you're catering for neurodiverse people. So if they feel overstimulated, they can go and discharge in their area. But in general, is it for anybody that has an interest in health, or is there a type of person that would come to this event?
Yeah, it's literally a variety of different people. Age range is from 22 all the way up until 45, even beyond 45. My dad has just turned 70. He's really excited about the day and can't wait to get involved. So it really is people throughout all walks of life. Some people might want to come just for the music and seeing the DJs, because we've got a lot of international DJs coming. Others will want to come for the different classes. And yeah, we're really trying to appeal to everybody. And from an exhibition perspective, we've got different food brands such as vitamins, supplements, clothing brands, lifestyle brands, food brands. So yeah, so there's a lot happening and a lot in the pipeline.
Do you have hot, healthy food there?
Yeah, we're going to have, a lot of different food vendors. So yeah, food connected to the healthy foods and foods that people can eat and enjoy.
That sounds wonderful. Now, what about your wellness stage? You've actually got a wellness stage and different people going on. Are they doing inspirational talks, or is it fitness classes? What's on the wellness stage?
Yeah, so we're going to have Dr. Alex George do a Q&A on there. Equally, we're going to have Grace Beverly do a Q&A on there. We've got Laura Hoff, who's the daughter of Wim Hof. She's going to do a talk about breathing techniques. We have Maud Hurst, she was an actress on the TV show Vikings, and she's going to be doing a meditation class. And when I spoke to her last week, she was saying to me how meditation is a superpower. And I said to her, I couldn't agree more. And so she's going to be channeling that. And we're really looking forward to it. And also we have Alice Living. He's going to be doing a fitness class. So we have a whole range of different activities being planned.
And is this the first time you've run the Wellnergy event?
Yeah, first one. Initially, we came up with the idea in January 2020, just 2 months before we went into the lockdown. Yeah, and then lockdown happened. And when that happened, we kind of realized as we come out of this, wellness is going to be more important than ever to try and, because a lot of people lost their mojo because of COVID, being stuck indoors, not being able to go out. As we recover from it, wellness is going to be really important to focusing on ourselves and general health and well-being. So we thought, let's try and run it in June 2021. We thought by then COVID should be over. Little did we know it wasn't. And we then thought, let's try it for September. Again, still wasn't possible. Then in June 2022, that season is when travel reopened and we were super busy. And it was not possible. So we started planning for the 2023 event in August, just gone. So
have a good run out. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, though. Wellness is really exploding after COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I think people want to consume this kind of information. And as you said, a lot of people lost their mojo. They didn't go to the gym, they were working from home. They weren't moving. They weren't laughing. They weren't having that connection with others, not eating well, not a food deliveries, takeaways, because they're the only shops that were open. So I think it's taken a long time for some people just to get themselves back into the healthy living, hasn't it? Yeah,
literally it takes time. And and the first few days are always the hardest just because, that you're trying to get into something different. People generally don't like change. And even though change can be positive, and it usually is, people still don't like it. And also trying to get into a habit. Again, another example is in January when people want to go to the gym after Christmas. It's always a struggle. Even though it's good for the body and we need to do it and to feel better, it takes time to get to that point.
Yeah.
But then when we have a routine and we're flowing, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, we have to have that routine and we have to be in community. I mean, that's what fires us up and gives us that energy to move forward because, no man is an island. You do things on your own, and it is important that you should be able to do things on your own. But when you have other people behind you, you're doing things as a group, you're going to these events, you're having that mutual support. That really is, it was so good for health. And it's wonderful what you're doing with your Wellnergy Festival.
No, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Dora.
Now, we're going to be talking a lot more about the 5 pillars of health: mindfulness, fitness, food, music, and laughter, and also the Wellbeing Festival that's happening later this year in London on the 17th of June. after a few messages from our commercial partners.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
You're listening to Dora Walsh on UK Health Radio on my weekly show, Nutrition for Health, Perfect Weight and Wellbeing. We're talking to Nick Steiert, co-founder of Wellnergy Festivals, which is happening later this year in London on the 17th of June. You can find out more about it on their website, wellnergy.co.uk. And this week we're talking about the 5 pillars of health, the mindfulness, the fitness, the food, the music, and the laughter. Now, Nick, obviously, we talked about the 5 pillars of health. We talked about your festival. Other than these 5 pillars, are there any other things that you do in your life to keep yourself healthy that you think are really important?
Other things, I would say holidays.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, going on a holiday. So I've booked to go to Greece on the 22nd of June, so 5 days after the event. And I'm just going to go and disconnect and unplug and be offline and switch off. So it's also very important. Holidays, I guess that's where sometimes is as well, I will push myself to the point where I will then go on a break and just relax and disconnect and recharge and get back to normal self.
Fantastic. Now, do you have a history of burnout in the past? I think you mentioned it. Did you push yourself too far in the past and have to change your life and get these 5 pillars into your life to get yourself well?
Yeah, 100%. And I've been in a position where, again, as I mentioned at the start of the show, learning these things the hard way. And and then I tried to incorporate them and apply them in day to day. And equally where I said, it's been a bit challenging recently is because this is the first year we're running the festival. It's all hands on deck. It's a startup again. I exited the travel side of the business a couple of months ago. So I went from running a company that's been established for 15 years, having a team of around 40 people, to literally being back into startup mentality. And it's also really interesting because I'm running a startup with 15 years experience, whereas last time when I was running a startup, I was just winging it. And running startups is chaotic and it is tough sometimes to follow the principles of being healthy because, the startup, it needs your time, which is the oxygen to the company. And equally, we need to make sure that it goes right and it's new to everybody, but things take time to grow and cultivate. But the response, and I guess this is what keeps me going, is just the positivity from people. They love the event. They love the name. It just talks to them in a way that, other brands don't talk to them, and it just shows how much potential is there.
Is it a one-day event or is it over 2 days?
This year it's a one-day event. We hope next year we can potentially grow it to being multi-days. And then, and also as well, how can we expand the concept so it's a bit more of a lifestyle? It's not that just one day. And so this is it. Right now it's one day, but we've got big plans to grow it into more.
Fantastic. And where is it happening?
So it's the 17th of June at Barn Elms, which is in Barnes next to Richmond.
Oh, it's a lovely area down there, isn't it?
Beautiful area. And they're very much into their wellness as well. And we've picked a really good spot. And also we wanted to pick a spot that's close to London. And make it accessible for people as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is that like a Barn Elms? Is it a venue or is it like an outdoor space?
So it's an outdoor space. And it's a huge venue. We have a lot of land, but equally we've mapped out where everything's going to be, and the map is on our website, and it just shows where everything's going to be allocated and how the day is going to plan out.
That's it. And did people book the tickets on the website? Is that right?
Yeah, people can book on wellnergy.co.uk.
Fantastic. Now, all people that are coming, are you going to be are the tents open all day? I mean, I know you said the music starts at 3 and it goes on till later in the day, but for the mindfulness, fitness, the food and the laughter, I mean, are there specific tents for that, or it's just that you've got different talks throughout the day on those topics, covering those pillars?
Yeah, we're going to have different tents. So we're going to have 2 mindfulness tents, a well-being tent, a fitness tent, a talks and workshops tent, and also a nutrition tent as well. So yeah, lots of activities planned during the day.
And in terms of your content, did you build this around what people in your network were telling you they wanted? Like, were they say, look, we want more information on nutrition, we really like that, and we need to learn more about this topic, or detoxes or ancestral nutrition, or did you just develop that yourself?
Yeah, it's just grown and evolved. And I remember when there was an idea at the early stages, I was like, yeah, what, how do we shape this? What are the core pillars? And yeah, and then as we've gone along, different people have come up with different suggestions, and why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? And it's definitely evolved. And for that, we definitely rely on feedback. And for me, I love getting feedback. Yeah, it's interesting. I've met a lot of people that don't like getting feedback. They have quite closed personalities, and for them, feedback comes across as negative, that they're not doing something right. Whereas for me, this is, for everybody, how do we grow it collectively? And, everyone's got a different idea of why don't we do this or why don't we do that? And yeah, so it's definitely something that we've shaped and evolved as we've gone along. And I'm sure we'll continue to do that as well.
And from your experience, what tent or topic do you think is going to be the most popular?
I think there's definitely something for everyone. There's not going to be just one I think people want to try different areas and different activities. And yeah, so I think, it's hard to say that this one specific, but I think more it's the day. And what we're trying to achieve is we want people to leave feeling energized, that they've learned new things, they've discovered new products, they've met new people, they've had a really fun day, and yeah, really enjoyed themselves and grown, and yeah, did a lot of reflecting and also a lot of looking ahead as well.
Is it an alcohol-free event, or are people going to be drinking there?
There will be a bar. It's something, again, we had to channel the right way. Some people are a bit shy. They sometimes it's good for a confidence booster. Yeah, equally, we don't want to make it alcohol exclusive, but equally we want people to be drinking responsibly. And I know that sounds a bit corny, but at an event like this, there's no judgment, and it's about, I guess, trying new, it's not, alcohol's definitely not the theme of the day, and it's not about, it's about learning, growing, developing a lot of new knowledge.
I guess, it's good to just have the choice to do what you want to do. That's healthy anyway. And, and alcohol can be healthy and in moderation. But I guess you're doing all the juicing as well. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of juices there, a lot of healthy goodness. So yeah, I think, 9 a day is definitely achievable at Wellnergy.
Oh, good. So I'm going to get someone to report on you.
Yeah. We should have a target of maybe 12 a day.
Oh, God. I can't even do that. I'll be honest with you, Nick. It's hard enough to do 5 a day for me. If I am a nutritionist, but we're a very realistic one. Sometimes I manage 5. I think I manage on average between 5 and 7, but sometimes 3. But it's a bit OCD. I start adding them up at the end of the evening, start thinking about if I've done it or not. And it does help me actually to kind of stay on track. It's good to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like a wonderful event. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your wellness journey and your inspiration to run this event, and what people can learn from coming to the Wellnergy Festival on the 17th of June in London later this year?
Yeah, well, our mission is to have people leave feeling energized, feeling motivated, that they've had a really fun day of wellness. And again, I guess pre-COVID, the word wellness was people looked at it differently, and we've definitely tried to make it more accessible, more fun, more friendly, and broken down barriers and make it more inclusive. And I guess as well, the word community post-COVID is more important than ever. And I think, we all went through COVID. Yes, we went through it collectively, but equally we went through it individually as well. And it was tough to, socialize, and that definitely affected the ability to feel part of a community. And yeah, we're definitely trying to create more of a community within Wellnergy. Mission is to promote general happiness and positivity. And we want people to come and feel energized and feel uplifted and to have 12 a day.
Yeah. You don't put people off, Nick. Maybe say
Okay.
the opportunity is there to have 12 a day if you come to the bar.
We can even be a bit clever with it and create maybe the 12 different energies of Wellnergy.
Yeah, you should do it. You should.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this grows with great interest. And it's been so lovely to have you on the show. Definitely keep in touch when you have other events. I'll give it one more shout out. It's the Wellnergy event. So I'll spell out that. It's WELLNERGY.co.uk. It's on the 17th of June, 2023 in London towards Richmond area, isn't it?
Yeah. Barnes next to Richmond.
Barnes next to Richmond. Very nice area. And they're going to be covering music, food and mindfulness. They're going to be doing fitness classes and there's going to be music and laughter. And it's based on the 5 pillars of health. It's a really great place to meet and listeners. But I really hope you've enjoyed listening to the show as much as I've enjoyed presenting the show. Listen in next week. We're going to be talking about all different types of topics in our following shows, from Ayurveda to reducing food poverty. So definitely keep in touch with UK Health Radio, your global feel-good radio. Until then, thank you and goodbye.